before I get into the intro, before we get into the podcast, Everett and I, we obviously have to cover the most groundbreaking topic over the weekend, probably some of the craziest news, at least that I've personally heard.
It might be the biggest blockbuster news of the century.
Exactly. What were your opinions to the Sydney Sweeney leaked picture of her family wearing a certain apparel?
Not gonna lie, I didn't get too much into that.
You didn't?
No, I didn't.
Oh, wow.
I saw it and I was like,
I spent my entire weekend just diving into it. I actually didn't watch football. Everything I said last episode about like Nebraska and all that shit, I just watched the highlights to figure it out. I didn't watch the game live.
So did you have the
I was just
spiderweb
sitting on Twitter, the meme of like the 80-inch monitor of just all the Sydney Sweeney time. That was me. That was me.
You have
for 72 hours.
You have like all the spider with like the picture with the yarn going to the other picture, the yarn going to the other picture, like the spider.
Oh yeah, exactly. No, like literally, that's the only thing I could think about this weekend. Sydney Sweeney. So you don't have any opinions on that?
No, I honestly had no idea what was going on until.
So like for me personally, I think that she should, in most situations, this person should be canceled, but. Because Sydney Sweeney has a massive What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Water Boy podcast today. Episode number 44. If my Spanish is correct, that's cuatro.
Yeah?
I have
you
no
took
idea.
Spanish, not me.
You definitely took Spanish.
I took Chinese, bro.
Yeah, you took. Yeah, bro. You took the language of my homeland, and I do not know shit in Chinese. Yeah. I know ni hao, gung hei fat choi.
That's not.
Gung hei fat choi is What did you speak? Mandarin or Cantonese?
Mandarin.
My grandparents speak Cantonese.
Yeah, no, I took Chinese because it was the only class in 6th grade that had yoga balls in it. The next year,
I'm probably about to be fact checked about that. They probably that was probably gung. What? How do you say Happy New Year that in Chinese? Gung hei fat choi is like.
It's something Xin Yan. I don't know. Whatever.
I'm almost. Maybe it's different versions of Chinese.
Xin Kuai La. It's Xin Yan Kuai La. That's what.
Whatever. Okay, we're probably cutting all this shit out. Okay. We got a lot on the menu today. Last couple episodes, literally a week ago right now, I was like, I'm going to be honest, guys. There's actually not a lot on the list. There's a lot on the list today. There's a lot on the list.
At the same time.
At the same time, there's also not a lot. But I have an extended segment which may or may not put Everett to sleep, but hopefully it doesn't put you to sleep. That's all that matters. If I put Everett to sleep, I don't care. If I put you to sleep, then we have an issue. Contact me, DM me. Email in bio, let me know, comments on the podcast. But we got a lot on the menu today. We got some boxing news. We're about to drop some celebrity boxing news. I got one thing on soccer, and the meat of this shit's all about to be football. All right, football season. Week 0 is here. Week 1 is coming up this weekend.
Week 0 has passed.
NFL is 10 days away. That's what I'm saying. Week 0 done. We're previewing week 1. That is coming up. Week 1 NFL is in 10 days from now, I think. It's 10 days from now. Is that
yeah, it will be
9 days if it's on that Thursday. Pretty sure. Yeah. I think my math's right. Or I'm stupid. Yeah. One or the other. Probably both. But yeah, got a lot of the menu. Maybe we cover MLB. Maybe I'm wearing a Randy Johnson Diamondbacks jersey today. Kind of thought the black looks good in me. I saw a rumor that if you wear black, you look like much thinner and skinnier. So if you guys noticed that, I didn't do anything. I'm just wearing a black shirt. So if you think I look better, thank you. But it's the outfit.
Sweating out in the gym last 5 days, 24/7.
I mean, I go to the gym actually 12 days a week, but you know me. I took a day off today. I had a lot to think about for this podcast, but okay, let's dive into some boxing news, Everett.
Yeah. All right.
I feel like I maybe could have queued you up better. So there's a celebrity influencer in the media making waves. There's a celebrity boxing match over the weekend. We didn't go over it. KSI. He actually beat
Didn't Deji win a
fighters
fight
in a night. Deji
Too.
kind of whooped FouseyTube's ass. Like I was watching with my roommate. My roommate's sitting there and he's just like, oh shit, I think Deji's like about to fight. It was like noon on Saturday. There was nothing going on for me at that point, other than Scott Frost choking. But that was so bad. I was like, I need something else to watch.
So it is everyday bro with that Disney Channel flow. Jake Paul will be taking on Anderson Silva in an upcoming boxing match.
Damn. I didn't know you were on that Team 10 fire. I didn't know we were throwing it back.
I'm not gonna lie. Literally like 40 minutes ago, I was talking to my girlfriend about it because she had never heard of it before. I don't know how it came up, but yeah, it's just in my head.
There's no way that she did not know.
She had no idea.
She's from fucking Connecticut. That's like the central haven of like news, fucking viral shit. Like all those kids get that shit. There's no way
she didn't.
If you got that in Minnesota, there's no way she didn't get that.
But no, thank you, Brian, for getting that stuck in my head, playing it on repeat because you thought it was the coolest thing ever that summer. It was not. Anyways, Anderson
You don't need
Silva,
to give Brian any more time on this podcast.
Anderson
We've mentioned
Silva,
him twice. That's 2 times too many. Go on.
Anderson Silva is going to whoop Jake Paul's ass.
You actually think so?
I mean, look, I understand that it is boxing and that's not Silva's like forte, but he's 3-1 when it comes to boxing. And I think that
he actually? Yeah, did you look up his stats?
No, but that's what I was told, and I trust my source. So always be trusting your
Keep
source.
Keep going.
Look, Jake Paul could feasibly win this fight. I'm not gonna say he can't. Like he is actually a bona fide, like he's a good boxer. But I just think that it's the kind of a similar thing with Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather, because Conor McGregor being all cocky, he's like, I'm gonna beat him, all this stuff. I mean, Floyd won, and I think that it's just gonna be that kind of like.
Wait, what about Floyd?
When Conor McGregor fought Floyd Mayweather, Conor McGregor was all cocky going into it, that kind of thing. Like he hadn't really been checked to that point. Floyd Mayweather was the one who checked him, and I think that's kind of the similar spot that Jake Paul.
Well, also, no one actually thought Conor was going to win that fight. No one actually thought that.
Like Jake Paul's a good boxer, but also we're talking about Anderson Silva. Like I know that it's boxing, but it's still Anderson Silva.
So, I think you just gave one of the least educated takes on this podcast. Jake Paul, this is the thing. Jake Paul has actually knocked out literally fucking everybody's face so far. I actually don't think it's a question of if Jake Paul will knock him out. I think it's a question, when will he? I actually think Jake Paul knockout. I'm not sure if this is like, I think this is an official. It is. Yeah. If KSI just made his boxing like debut, yeah, it's definitely an official.
Well, like, so here's the thing.
He's actually gonna knock his fucking ass out. Like literally drop Anderson Silva, and I'm gonna be embarrassed for Anderson Silva. Literally my hero. When I got into the UFC in like 2011, he was the king.
You just like can't.
And I watched his downfall. So sad. He's 47. Anderson's okay. This is gonna be over fast. 47. Anderson Silva is 47 years old.
Okay.
This is actually going to be like, this is actually going to be brutal. But like, this is going to be brutal.
Here's my one thing is you just can't cheer for Jake Paul. Not in this fight, at least.
Like, I'm not like cheering for, but it's just like, dude, Jake Paul is free money. I'm not a betting man, but Jake Paul is free money.
Correct with my previous statement.
Like, actually,
I mean, Jake Paul will probably win. I'll take back my previous sentence. I resend that, but. You just can't like it's Anderson Silva, and also you just can't cheer for Jake Paul. Will Anderson Silva win?
I'm just saying Jake Paul knocked Tyron Woodley out twice. And Tyron Woodley is 10 years younger than Anderson Silva and was also a UFC champion like Anderson Silva.
I just want to see Jake Paul fight an actual like prime fighter. Like, do you think that they could get?
I think. Well, I think
Jake
this
Paul?
is the thing. Before Jake Paul like starts fighting real fighters, I actually Loki don't think he ever will, because I think
No, he's
he will
making
make
money.
less money fighting real fighters. I think the
Less
next
money and probably
fight.
more
I
injury.
don't think it'll necessarily happen like in 2023 this year. I think Jake Paul wants to set up the KSI fight, but like beef it up for like a year and a half and like really beef it
Money.
up, because that fight will just do fat money, but also like he's just got to fight more UFC guys. Because like the thing is, and the one thing like I'll take his point on. If you look at other like fighters, they literally are fighting no name dudes who are 1-30, and they just destroy them. Like Tyson, Tommy Fury, like he's like Jake Paul would literally destroy Tommy Fury, like actually destroy Tommy Fury's bitch out of the fight like 3 times.
I have 3 fighters in question that I'm gonna ask you if you think Jake Paul could face.
I think Jake Paul would beat a lot of people right now.
Okay. Well, one Barstool's own Patty the Batty.
Oh yeah, he's 50 pounds heavier than Patty the Batty.
I just think that it'd be a funny fight to watch though.
He's like, 50 pounds heavier.
It'd be a funny fight to watch. Tyson Fury.
Tyson, fuck no, dude. And they're not even similar weight classes. That can never.
No,
happen.
I know, but I mean, Jake. I don't really know if Jake Paul cares much about actual.
Dude, Tyson. No, he would never. Tyson Fury would never fight him.
And Khabib, that was the other one that I was thinking. I'm just thinking about boxers.
Khabib in a boxing, Jake Paul probably whip his ass. In a boxing match, Khabib's worst trait is boxing. He's so good at wrestling that he doesn't need to box. That's why he's fucking so goated. He puts you on the ground and you can't move. Dude, no. Like Khabib, like I always thought like striking was like the GOAT shit. Like when McGregor was getting hot, like John Jones shit. It is all about the fucking clinch, like ground game. Like I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but like wrestling wins. Like if you're the goated wrestler, you're destroyed.
You think like you don't know what you're talking about?
UFC is all things, you know. Like that's the one thing like Joe Rogan talks about. It's like you can't just be a boxer and expect to dominate the UFC. Like there's so much shit involved.
Yeah, you think you don't know what you're talking about? Look at me over here. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, but like that's why like Floyd Mayweather would never fucking fight Conor McGregor in MMA. One head kick, he doesn't know how to fucking block that shit. I know, like that's just, like, you know. But okay, I think we gave the UFC talking enough time. Yeah, Jake Paul. Yeah, I think Jake Paul is actually gonna smash Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva's 47, Jake Paul's 25. Okay. Next, Chelsea Football Club. They are not letting Christian Pulisic leave on loan. He was rumored to go to Man U on loan. That's I don't think that would have ended up happening after they just signed this Brazilian winger for 100 million. But Chelsea, they're not letting Pulisic leave so he can get regular playing time before the World Cup. And I think this is a conspiracy. I think Gareth Southgate, the manager of the English soccer team, is just in Thomas Tuchel's ear and just telling him, you cannot transfer Chelsea or you cannot transfer Pulisic. You need to keep him on your team so he does get playing time. We got to play USA on Black Friday in the World Cup. So don't let Pulisic be ready for that game. I want Pulisic to be cold for that game. So that's my conspiracy theory. That's what I got.
I mean, it's always the Brits are always trying to find a sneaky way to one up the US.
Yeah, I mean they gotta do sneaky tactics to beat us. So
hey,
what can you expect?
Yeah.
What can you expect? But all right, let's get on some NFL.
All right. So I'll open this off. I'll kick us off. Aaron Rodgers on the only podcast in the nation that is rated higher above us, the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yep, we're number 2. Joe's 1. Got to tip the cap. Respect. Understandable.
Yeah, somehow they beat us out. I don't know. I don't know how that happened, but
yeah, I mean, when you consider the longevity of our pod compared to the lack of time when they started theirs, it's crazy. But
Aaron Rodgers on the Joe Rogan podcast. Oh my God, on the Joe Rogan podcast.
It is late, but go on.
Stated that he played a full NFL game on Percocet. Now I don't know if you've ever been on Percocet. I have not.
Personally, no.
They'll give it to you sometimes. You like break something or like after surgery or whatnot. Just depends where you are.
Enlighten me. You're the drug guy on the show, so.
Yeah. But I mean, I've never taken it, so I don't necessarily know the adverse effects of it, and I haven't done research on it specifically. I probably should have done that, but it does psychotic things to your brain, and that's probably not great for NFL games. So
well, in my opinion, regardless, as Big Cat said, we should just put Aaron Rodgers in prison now. He just admitted to doing a federal crime during his profession. If he wasn't an NFL player and he was on perks at work, they would be fired. Why are we treating Aaron Rodgers differently? He should be in prison.
Yeah, so the game that he had Percocets on has been identified as week one of the 2018 game against the Bears, where he went out and everybody thought that he was done, like tore his stuff like out. He came back.
That would make a lot of sense. And then they came back and
everybody was like, "What the hell?"
Because he was on perks. Maybe perks are a PED based on that.
I'm not gonna lie.
You ever think about that, Everett? Did you ever think about that? Did you consider that?
If people knew the amount of illicit drugs that teams pump players with in order to keep them playing during games.
Well, which drugs are these? I'm unaware. Drugs are these?
I mean, I don't know what the NFL does. I don't know what, but
just going from word of mouth.
I just know NFL teams, like they give their players.
I know, I'm
a lot of drugs.
But no, I like.
Also, people forget that.
I mean, if you got to look at some of the NFL players, like Ray Lewis, you're telling me he wasn't on steroids? Get the fuck out of here.
Horse tranquilizers.
Yeah, like, I mean, those dudes were literally crazy. In like early 2000s, like when you see pictures of those guys, like Brian Urlacher had to have been on roids. Like, I'm sorry. Like some of those guys had, like, some of those dudes are literally fucking massive. And they're like 6 foot.
You know what? You know what is like truly amazing though? That James Harrison, like, I know that dude was not on roids. Like, he's just massive for being massive.
I don't know. This might be media bait from you just seeing those workout videos, so you assume he isn't what he is. Like, I'm not trying to burst your bubble of Jay hair like that, but like, that's the thing. Like, you never know. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these guys, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a secret steroid that,
I mean, no,
maybe the NFL actually approved and told them, like, hey,
no, literally
testing for this, use this. I don't know. I'm going way off.
You can take certain substances and they'll be out of your system by the time they test, and that way they're passable. Like, the NFL can't do anything if it's out of your system. So there are certain substances. Oh my God, substances that are used that will be out of your system. Also, by the way, people forget that the Chargers doctor literally stabbed Tyrod Taylor, and that's why Justin Herbert is playing right now.
I really want to go on record saying that, even though at the time it was like, what the fuck? What did this guy do? Like, holy,
like 5 minutes before the game started.
This guy literally, I still to this day don't know how you could possibly puncture a lung. Whatever. I feel like you wouldn't need to give a shot in any type of area, like in your fucking, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. I haven't had many shots in my life. I don't know. Well, I'm just gonna shut
fully
up.
Vaccinated.
But I'm just saying, like, in retrospect, that doctor puncturing Tyrod Taylor's lung might be the greatest thing to ever happen in Chargers franchise history.
Dude, you know,
literally what? Ever.
Did the Chargers doctor have Justin Herbert for Rookie of the Year, and he just wanted to solidify it?
I really don't know, but like, I'm really being honest here. Like, that might be the greatest
Dude, they should
non-player coach, like maybe the greatest move that a trainer could do to impact a franchise ever in the history of the NFL.
They should erect a statue of the Chargers trainer.
And like obviously, thank God Tyrod Taylor's okay. Like we're not like happy he got hurt, but it's just like in retrospect, like Tyrod Taylor's fine. At the end of the day, it's not like it's obviously a shame, but it's not that bad. But like that was the greatest lung puncture in the history of the NFL. In the history of the NFL. The most beneficial lung puncture ever for a franchise.
This might be the first time though in recent
like that trainer should arguably get a raise for what he or she did for the franchise.
This might be like the first.
Look at the Chargers now.
This literally might be the first time since Tom Brady overtook. Actually, I guess Dak Prescott with Tony Romo did the same thing, but I guess it's the first time since then that there's been a quarterback like Justin Herbert come out of and take over for a quarterback that was injured and then just keep the job all the way through.
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking I was going to get more of a response from that.
Say it one more time. Let me think about that again. I'll be honest. I was reading something. I didn't quite take that in.
Justin Herbert overtaking Tyrod Taylor due to his punctured lung.
Yeah.
Like the first time since I guess Tom Brady and then I guess Dak Prescott with Tony Romo that a quarterback has done prolifically well after replacing a former injured starter. So Tom Brady with Drew Bledsoe, Dak Prescott, Tony Romo.
Yeah, it's not. I feel like it's so rare to see rookies come in replacing a veteran guy and like actually like succeed. Like, I mean, Brady like literally won a fucking bowl like his first year. So I mean,
that was
like
his second year.
Was it? I thought that was his first year starting though.
That was his first year starting, but that was his second year in the league.
So you could say Justin Herbert's even more impressive than Brady because he came in his rookie year and started. I know they didn't win a Super Bowl, but like,
hey,
the Patriots were better than the Chargers. If Herbert was on the Patriots, they would have gone 16-0.
Imagine.
Hottest take of all time. If Justin Herbert was just born in Tom Brady's time, just like was Tom Brady, but it was Justin Herbert, the Patriots would have 15 rings.
I'm very tempted to clip that.
Fuck it, clip out. I don't care. This is what I'm saying though. Like I'm obviously kidding there, but on a very serious subject. So a couple weeks ago, we were talking about how Justin Jefferson, when it's time for when his contract's up and it's time for him to re-sign, he will most likely be the highest paid wide receiver of all time when he re-signs that extension. When Justin Herbert's up for contract, he's about to sign the largest contract in NFL history. Based on salary cap, he's a free agent in 3 years. Okay. I don't want to know how large the salary cap is going to be in 3 years. Holy shit. I do not want to know.
It would have been without COVID too.
No, I know. But like in 3 years from now, I don't want to know how large the salary cap is going to be. So when Justin Herbert's a free agent, Burrow also, they'll be the same. They were the same year, right?
Burrow 1, Herbert 3, 5.
Herbert was like fucking.
Tua went before. No, yeah,
30. Some shit. I don't even know what.
Top 10. He was still in the top 10. He was like 8 or something 7.
Was he?
Because Tua, I remember going through this draft with you. Tua, my draft.
Oh damn! Justin Herbert went 6.
My draft said Herbert.
I thought he dropped
Herbert to the Dolphins at 3, and then.
I mean, I'm a lifelong Chargers fan. I don't really look at the draft numbers like that. I look at the results on the field. That's all that matters to me. So, no, but honestly though, I think when Justin Herbert his contract's up, he will sign the largest contract in NFL history.
The one thing that just blows about that is with all these quarterbacks signing such big deals, like it's kind of
it guts the team. The Chargers though, they have a 3-year window, and like they know that with how it's set up. The Chargers, they have a 3-year window right now. This season, next season, the season after. That's when they have like Bosa, Mack, J.C. Jackson, like Corey Linsley, like Herbert, like. Yeah. Herbert on his rookie deal still also, like he might have flexibility. But like I'm literally thinking about it as rookie contract Justin Herbert Chargers and second contract Justin Herbert Chargers. They're going to be two different teams. Kind of how we're seeing with the Chiefs now. The Chiefs just had to get rid of Tyreek Hill. You know
what I'm starting to realize,
the Chargers are going to have to dump off pieces to keep their team
over the entire span of Tom Brady's career with the Patriots. Every single time he's up for a contract extension, he took a team-friendly deal, and people wonder why the Patriots were so good for so long. It's because
shout out to Tom, and this is the thing.
A lot of people have a quarterback that was taking up 3/4 of the cap space. Like they were able to get stuff. Like obviously his receivers weren't like always the greatest, but
no. Forget that. You're missing the main point here. A lot of people would say like, well, he's literally married to a billionaire model. The money he makes is literally a fraction of like their like total income, but still it's very difficult to tell a man leave 10, 15, 20 million dollars on the table to help your brothers and team. Like not many people also, would do that.
Keep in mind,
not many people would do that.
He's getting more lucrative offers in probably areas that Giselle would rather live in.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like when he was up for free agency, like I bet Miami, like I don't know what his contract was. The Bucks, I know he's getting. I know.
Oh no, Miami was in there
now. But I'm saying like they were throwing him fat bags. Like we don't care about the money. Like we want you.
Yeah.
Also, just like, could you imagine Tyreek Waddle Miami with Brady?
That almost happened this
year. If Brady can dink and dive with fast dudes who could just go.
Remember,
it's literally Julian Edelman on crack. It's literally like you could just give it instead of Julian Edelman, you have a guy who runs a 4.2. Like,
just remember that the Miami Dolphins were tampering, trying to get Sean Payton with Tom Brady.
Also, I just I was hearing something kind of funny, like Jerry Jones, Cowboys owner, he's just like has Sean Payton on all the jets with him, just waiting for Mike McCarthy to have like one bad loss to fire and be like, Sean Payton's our new head coach, like in week 4. Sean Payton's obviously going to coach again. Like
he's also obviously.
I'm still shocked. Did he retire from the Saints?
Retired.
Okay, well, he's 58. He's obviously not retired. Okay, so I mean,
although he does have them,
he's damn. I feel like Sean Payton's older than that. I feel like he's only 58. I feel like he'd be like in his 60s.
That's like my dad's age.
No, he's younger than my parents.
What?
Yeah,
it's very interesting.
Yeah, I don't care if you cut that out or not, but a little interesting information. But okay. On Sunday, the Browns had a preseason game, and we know now it wasn't weed, but at the time, it looked like there was a player on the Browns sideline with just 2 plastic baggies of weed. It was sunflower seeds, but it looked like it. And I saw a tweet saying the Browns are the Bishop Sycamore of the NFL. So first things first, speaking of Bishop Sycamore, there's actually be a Bishop Sycamore Netflix documentary coming out calling BS High School, I think. BS High. And second, I would not agree saying the Browns are the Bishop Sycamore of the NFL. I think that title belongs to the Las Vegas Raiders and their mishaps. But speaking of the Raiders, because I'm a Chargers fan, I'm going to take my jabs when I can get them. Even though I'm a lifelong Chargers fan, I texted one of my best friends who is an actual lifelong Chargers. I'm an actual lifelong. This guy like became a Chargers fan 2 months ago, but the guy I asked, he told me our biggest rival was the Raiders, and I also want it on record. Before he told me that, I was like, I'm assuming our biggest rival is the Raiders, and he was like, yes. I was like, okay, that makes sense. Who do you think the Chargers' biggest rivals are?
So it is the Raiders, but the fact that you didn't know that beforehand, like
no. I mean, I'm a lifelong Chargers fan. I just want to make sure I was right for the pod. I want to make sure I was 100% correct for the podcast. Make sure all of our viewers knew. There was another kid in like my like little mini group chat of those whack ass friends where someone was like, "Oh yeah, Chargers Chiefs, massive rivalry." I'm like, I don't think that's really on the radar. Like another thing I want to say though, I was thinking about this. We're gonna get shit. I'm getting into the hat. Save this thought. We're talking about NFL rivalries in a second. I do not think that the Bishop Sycamore of the NFL belongs to the Las Vegas or to the Cleveland Browns. I think it belongs to the Las Vegas Raiders. So I'm taking my jab now. While on topic of the Las Vegas Raiders, I saw an interesting post. It summed up the Raiders' first round draft picks from 2019 to 2021. So 2019, 3 players, all of their 5th-year options declined. Jonathan Abram, Clelin Ferrell, and Josh Jacobs, who I was kind of surprised to see they declined his 5th year. Maybe they like actually re-signed. I don't know. I was kind of surprised to see Josh Jacobs.
He's been average.
Whatever. But yeah, none of them extended. 2020, Damon Arnett, Henry Ruggs, both cut for reasons.
Yeah.
And then 2021, Alex Leatherwood, their first round draft pick last year, tackle out of Alabama.
Verified. They're all first round picks that you're talking about.
Yeah, every single one of their first round picks, they have either cut or not accepted their 5th-year player option to remain on the team. So Raiders front office, I don't know who the GM is. I would assume they've been fired sometime in the past couple of years.
It was Mike Mayock. He was fired after last season.
That would make sense. But yeah, not a great stretch for the Raiders. So I had to take my jab there. But I got one other thing.
People forget that Clelin Ferrell was, I think he was the 5th overall pick. Or maybe he was like the 3rd overall pick.
I actually think Clelin Ferrell went like 4.
Like
Clelin Ferrell went hella early.
He was in
he has 7.5 career. He went number 4. He has 7.5 career sacks.
I don't know what they're doing. If you pull up that draft and look at the players that went directly after him, I guarantee you that there are going to be some very big name players that they could.
He was like actually good at Clemson. Like the thing, like that Clemson team, whatever.
But you know why they picked him that high? You know why they picked him that high? Because Mike Mayock said that he was good character, and that's why he deserved to be a top 5 pick because he had good character.
I feel like they also had like the 6th or 7th pick in that draft or something.
They had 3 picks in the first round. One was at 4.
Yeah. Jonathan Abrams, Josh Jacobs, Clelin Ferrell. I don't know where those other
like
picks
25.
were. But,
I think Josh Jacobs.
But yeah, that was my take on the Raiders. Also, a couple weeks ago, we brought up Tony Jefferson and how he just began to rewear his glasses, not only or contacts. He said he never had contacts and just got them, but he decided to begin wearing his glasses or contacts now, not only in the football field, but in life. He said he stopped wearing his glasses for years. And I brought up how the hell did this man drive a car without his glasses as a man who's been wearing glasses since I was like 8 years old. Like I don't feel safe operating a vehicle without my glass. Like I would not feel safe. So I don't know how bad this guy's eyesight is, but like, if he was driving without glass, like Jesus Christ, man. Like,
well,
I don't know.
Clearly,
if his eyesight was bad enough to affect his playing, it probably could affect your driving too. I don't know.
Clearly, though, it was still bad enough to the factor that him fixing it didn't make a difference because the Ravens released him today.
Yeah, no, but he has been cut from the Ravens, and when looking back on it, it makes complete sense because they just drafted Kyle Hamilton. And then they also signed Marcus Williams.
His eyesight after they drafted.
But so yeah, I mean, I wonder why he had to go run and fix his eyesight, thinking that'd help. But I don't know. Maybe the Ravens wouldn't have felt the need to go get a new safety if his eyes worked for the last 4 seasons, dude. Like, what the fuck? Like, bro. You cannot just come out publicly say like, yeah, I haven't been able to see the past 6 years.
It works for Jameis because Jameis is just comedy.
Well, he's a meme. Like a lot of people like probably didn't take that seriously. Like, did he actually get LASIK or was that a joke?
He did actually.
Oh shit.
His eyesight was actually.
But like Jameis is different. because like Jameis actually has potential. But
also
Tony Jefferson
Jefferson's been in
the
has been in the league for like, I don't know.
I know.
10
No,
years.
also like he's been in the
31.
league for a while. I just said, who the hell are you? But like I do know that. But like he has been in the league for a while. Like, what if he could see? Like, is he the most impressive story in the NFL, considering he's been in the league for this long
It's an
and he
underdog
can't
story.
see?
It's an
I don't
underdog.
know. I mean, it's something to think about, but I mean, shit. You just got to think, maybe if this guy could have seen, the Ravens wouldn't have felt the need to go get a bunch of
Maybe
safeties.
if he could have seen them, the release coming. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I had on the NFL. Do you? What else? What else do you got on the National Football League?
Okay, so I know you were talking. You wanted to do rivals something, but
Oh yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna.
Okay, rival. No. I just want to say real quick. Okay. So I was thinking about. I was talking to like a couple of my close friends. Like, what is the biggest rivalry, in the NFL? And they gave me an answer that I didn't. I personally didn't instantly think. But what do you think is the biggest rivalry in the NFL?
Bengals, Steelers.
So that came up eventually, but initially they all said Vikings, Packers, and I was like, really?
So here's the funny thing. Here's the funny thing.
I was like, actually?
Here's the funny thing. That's what I would say initially, but apparently for whatever reason, people think it might just be really stupid Bears fans, but people think that the actual Packers rivalry is Bears-Packers, not Vikings-Packers, which I think is absolute blasphemy.
Yeah, I don't know. But like the thing is, when they told me that, I was like, really, Vikings Packers?
Like, no, like here's the thing. I like it. The argument can be made just because it's just the proximity. It's every year it's a battle for the NFC North. It's between the two teams. Like everybody like hates each other. Like it's like a little brother kind of relationship. Like the Packers like the little brother of the Vikings. So, it's that kind of relationship. But the Bengals and like the Steelers, it's always fighting. Like they hit the Antonio Brown cleated the Bengals.
I understand. Like
murdered him. Like,
I also feel like though, like I feel like in recent years that may have been beefed up a bit, and I feel like like Vontez like really going like haywire. Like I feel like the big rivalry was like Steelers Ravens in the AFC North. Like I feel like that was low key bigger, like 2000 to 2010 than Bengals Steelers. Like the Ravens and Steelers were like Ray Lewis, Ed Reed versus Steelers is bigger than Bengals. Like my one thing I'm trying to understand is like, I'm trying to understand like division rivalry. Like obviously you hate every team in your division, but there is one that sticks out. There's one that sticks out.
The division rival, it is one team that every single year you play them, it is always heated. It is always competitive, and it is the one team that you are constantly fighting with. Like the way that I think of division rivals is basically the two best teams in each.
I mean, I am a lifelong fan, but I am getting into it. But yeah, go on.
The two best teams in each division, those two are the primary rivals.
No, yeah. Like, but this is the thing though. Like when you say the two best teams, are we talking current times? Like, or are we talking historically? That's what I don't really. So that's where I'm a little lost.
Most of the time, even currently, like it just plays out that it's historically, like overall historically, like the Vikings and the Packers have the best win percentage in the NFC North. Like those are the top two win percentages. So like,
but I'm saying like the year that the Bears were the 1 seed, it's not like they are suddenly now the biggest rival.
No.
Like that's where I'm a little
consistent. It's
historically.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
So like if you look at the Packers,
I hate to say it, but the Chargers are on the bottom tier of my division when it comes to rivalries.
I mean, historically they are. Historically, them and the Raiders, I guess, are kind of like the middle bottom. I'm because
I would say Broncos are ahead.
Broncos are ahead of them because they had that John Elway year, and then the Chiefs. The Chiefs were in the Super Bowl like the first couple of times. Patrick Mahomes right now. Alex Smith was good for them for a while. They had Tony Gonzalez. Like, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It does add up.
My housemate just yelled, "I got toothpaste in my eye."
Is that the one from Kentucky?
No.
Oh, Oh,
He's out of the country.
dude, I want Kentucky guy back on because Kentucky's got a pretty good college football team this year. They got a pretty good college football team this year.
Call him up on his.
That's what I've been hearing. Oh, is he? Whatever. We're not getting into this.
Yeah.
Okay. What else you got NFL?
All right. So we'll operate as a little bit of a transition into college football where I will inevitably fall asleep. The NFL released its top 10 players or its top 100 list. They released the top 10 players on that list this past week. I noticed something a little interesting when I was looking at this list. The top 10 players in the NFL for this past season, every single one of them has 3 stars or less except for Jalen Ramsey coming out of college or going into college.
Yeah.
Tom Brady went to Michigan, was not rated. Aaron Donald, Pitt, 3-star. Aaron Rodgers, Cal, 3-star. Cooper Kupp, Eastern Washington, not rated. Jonathan Taylor, Wisconsin, 3 stars. TJ Watt, 3 stars. Devontae Adams, 2 stars. Patrick Mahomes, 3 stars. Jalen Ramsey's 5 stars. Travis Kelce is 2 stars. So that makes the argument, obviously, at least for the NFL, stars don't matter at all. No 24/7, no ratings really matter going into the NFL. So if that's the case in the NFL, does that really apply that much to college football? Do you think that you can get something out of college football players if they're not rated high?
Now I think those ratings matter a lot for college football in determining success from high school to college football. I think it makes sense that it doesn't determine as much from when you get that high school rating. I mean, a lot of these guys are like 17 years old when they get that final like high school rating. So like compare that to how they are at age 30.
How come so many players that are rated low or poor? Because like if we look at this, I would say it's pretty amazing that we only see one player rated above 3 stars in this the top 10 players.
Well, also I'm not even gonna say that. I think it's pretty noticeable that a lot of these players aren't necessarily coming from like your blue chip schools. Like Aaron Donald came from Pitt. Cooper Kupp went to Eastern Washington. Like
Travis Kelce,
Devontae Adams went to Fresno State. Travis Kelce went to Cincinnati. Like
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech. Like Tom Brady went to Michigan. Like a bunch of like low tier, below average programs. And so that's kind of interesting to point out. And like at least currently Florida State's not even that top echelon either. So like none of these guys necessarily came from elite blue chip college teams.
Does it draw the question though that colleges and
no Alabama players in the top 10
rating?
Is Nick Saban the GOAT?
Rating players, these people who rate players coming out of high school miss large aspects of players that could be.
I also just think they change and like literally physically change, first of all, because they're 18 years old when they start college. Like you physically change so much. You like mature, like mentally, like emotionally, whatever the fuck. Like you go through so much shit going through college, your first years in the NFL. And if you're still in the NFL, like by year 6, odds are like you're pretty talented. So like, I think it's very interesting that those ratings where like, although these guys might not have been like the flashiest name out of high school, like they still had the potential to become top 10 players in the NFL today. Like they are.
It's just interesting that the top 10 players in the NFL largely are not prolifically known college football players.
No, yeah, I think that's like very interesting to point out, but
now, I also think some of them were drafted in the first round.
But I think now, I think actually maybe not. Like in certain cases, I would say now, like the college games getting a little more like the pro game, I would say now. Yeah. And so I feel like at least for now, it's like an easier transition for I don't really know top name guys who like stick out and produce, but like I'm talking about like guys on like Oregon, like DeAnthony Thomas, Michael James, like even Reggie Bush, they were like 15, 20 years before their time. Like if those guys were playing football now, they'd be dominating. Like now it's all about speed and like quickness. But like 10, 15, 20 years ago, like you'd be fucking tough as shit. Like the NFL was a man's league, and it still is. Don't get me wrong, but like speed is valued like very highly now. So yeah.
Chris Johnson.
No, yeah. I mean, like imagine Chris Johnson playing like in a modern day system with a half decent quarterback. You know, like
Chris Johnson was on the 49ers.
Didn't he drop like 2,000 with the Titans? Didn't he do 2,000 yards, right?
Maybe he did, but I mean, Adrian Peterson.
He had something crazy.
I don't think that he did. I don't know.
I don't know, but regardless, yeah.
But imagine if Chris Johnson was on the 49ers right now in that offensive system. Like, he's basically like Raheem Mostert's a poor man's Chris Johnson.
No, like honestly, he'd like shine. Like there'd be so many different systems where he'd just shine in. But
no.
Hey, I don't know. I feel like I think it kind of makes sense that a bunch of these players are kind of from like weirder, different colleges, just because I feel like a bunch of like top guys who, I don't know, this could be a stupid take. I don't know. I'm literally just riffing off the top of my mind. I kind of feel like it's a lot of like top name guys out of college, like past couple of years, like they're not necessarily like NFL players. I don't know. Like they either are not like quite like the NFL like build or something.
I feel like
I don't know. I'm kind of talking out of my ass. I really haven't looked into this.
Players who go through more adversity, meaning they play in a crappier program, people don't look at them exactly the same way as they look at these.
I can understand that extra little like chip on your shoulder factor.
Like chip on your shoulder, and a lot more of these players going later in the draft, having to
can help you stay motivated like longer throughout your career.
Right, having to have that motivation, having to
you'll keep that drive.
The NFL
6 years post college.
In comparison to these players who were drafted in the first round and giving everything, assuming that they're going to be there. Like,
no, yeah, like honestly, maybe it could just show you like mentality and I don't know, kind of the way you treat, like take that like chip on your shoulder. Maybe that factors a little bit more. But okay, one other thing, college football. There was a backup quarterback list ranking. Let me pull this up real quick because I got it here. I was looking at this list, and it kind of interested me a little bit. God damn it, I'm trying to find it. I cannot find
it. Big Game Boomer, top 50 backup quarterbacks in college football. Big Game Boomer is a Twitter account with 52.1 thousand followers. If anybody,
Big Game Boomer's big. They go viral frequently on their charts. Wait. Okay, I got it right here. Okay, top 50 backup quarterbacks. Okay, first things first, I want to say it is kind of crazy to throw Cade Klubnik at number 2. Okay, I'm not sure if you know who Cade.
LSU's backup.
No, Clemson's. Cade Klubnik, he I want to say I think he's a sophomore. Oh my God, he's a true freshman.
Oh wait, what? I thought he was a junior.
No.
Dude, okay.
Cade Klubnik is like a year younger than Quinn Ewers, I'm pretty sure. I think he is. Yeah, he's a year younger. Oh yeah, he's a true. How the fuck is Cade Klubnik the second best backup quarterback in the country? He's a true freshman. What? And who is Clemson's quarterback coach? I was listening to this the other day. If you really think about it, Clemson's quarterbacks under their new quarterback coach, they get worse over time. When their quarterback coach came in, I'm pretty sure it was Trevor Lawrence's first year, or it was Kelly Bryant the year before, so that obviously doesn't count.
Really helped.
But Trevor Lawrence only got worse, technically, as his career at Clemson went on. DJ Uyunglele, however the hell you pronounce it, his best game of his career was his first start replacing COVID Trevor Lawrence in 2020 against Notre Dame when they barely lost. That was the best game of his career. His first start ever as a true freshman. So Clemson quarterbacks actually get worse over time. Shit, that makes sense. They're right. Cade Klubnik is the second best backup quarterback because Clemson has had such little time to fuck with him. And next year he won't be, but this year he is. Shit, you're okay. Big game. Shit, they're right. God damn it. I taught they're correct. You guys are right. He probably is the second best backup.
That's a clip right there.
Anyway, okay. Other reactions. Shout out my boy Kyle McCord, Ohio State backup at 10. It's my dog. You should definitely be over Hudson Card, Carson Beck, Donovan's Ty Thompson, JJ. I put JJ above. But Kyle McCord's better than Cade McNamara. Cade's the actual backup in that room. But this is my big reaction I got. And I'm going to shout out my boy Miller Moss, backup quarterback for USC. So this list, they got him ranked 22nd best backup quarterback in college football. But they got Jake Garcia, the backup at Miami, at 13. Quick history lesson for you folks. Jake Garcia committed to USC as a quarterback before Miller Moss did. They were quarterbacks in the same class. I actually think Jake Garcia, like according to like all the databases, might have actually been ranked higher than Miller, like overall composite. But the day Miller committed to USC, Jake Garcia decommitted because he was afraid of Miller. So considering that Lincoln Riley is Miller's quarterback coach, and I don't know exactly who the Miami quarterback coach is, but considering Josh fucking Gaddis is the Miami's offensive coordinator, I don't know how you can put the guy who was literally a bitch and too pussy to fight out Miller for the battle that he decommitted and left and went to Miami. I don't know how you could put that guy above Miller, considering that, first of all. And then second, he has worse coaching than Miller. So like what? And worse receivers. Like what? I don't know how they come to that conclusion. Well, I guess receivers doesn't really come to account, but coaching does.
But I mean,
coaching 1000% does.
It's if you put a quarterback, if your starting quarterback gets hurt, they're basically saying this is the quarterback that you would want to be the next man up, like in this order. If it was a fantasy draft and you had to choose one of them, this is who you want at that pick. And I'm going to say that you'd much rather have Miller.
I think it's crazy that they put Jake Garcia above him.
So
I don't know. I don't know. Whatever.
See what Miller thinks about that.
Yeah, maybe when we officially get him on the podcast because the other one got deleted. Maybe we can go over it then. Okay, real quick.
You can thank the car for drilling into.
I gotta pee really bad. Do your story.
Okay,
it's that time.
Yeah, you know what? Because I was about to say it anyways. I'll just tell the story of our first interview with Miller on subject. So this was probably like early past summer. We had Miller, Chad, who's been on the podcast, and a couple other guys. I think maybe Aiden was there. He's been on the podcast too. So they were all over. We were recording it. I wasn't there in person, so we were recording it like over Zoom, whatever. And Grant's Wi-Fi cut out, and I was like, well, crap, because we've been working on putting this together. So it's like, well, that's a problem. Long story short, Grant's Wi-Fi didn't get put back together, so he just recorded himself without me. Come to find out that some random motherfucker, some random idiot came and drove his car into the entire networking system for Wi-Fi in Grant's area. So not only does Grant not have cell service at his house, he also no longer had Wi-Fi. So that screwed up everything for a while. And then on top of that, after he finished the full recording, he recorded it on a platform that could not accept the actual length of the video file. So
how much longer will the story go?
So the entire file corrupted, and we no longer have Miller's episode.
Was that the story?
Yeah.
Oh, good job. Good timing by me. Yeah. I think Everett just explained the story of how the Miller file got corrupted because I recorded it on Photo Booth, which is the worst recording software platform in the history of Earth.
Yeah,
literally a bug began like 2 years ago that Apple still hasn't fixed, of course, where if you record a video over 8 seconds, it just doesn't save. Actually, Loki, actually, I'm gonna pull up my photo booth right now. Watch it.
If it works.
Ready to fucking...
Oh boy.
No, can't watch it. But I still have the files there. Like one day they will be available.
One day
like,
they will be leaked.
One day they will be released to the public. The Miller Moss interview I did by myself
it
with
will be
5 other people.
It will literally be called
with 4 of my former teammates actually, and my brother was in there.
It will literally be called episode. The long lost episode.
No, like actually, like
literally,
that's
what it'll be called.
That episode was actually hilarious. Miller had some interesting comments on his old offensive coordinator, but you know, not many people will actually hear that. If you actually are listening to the pod, you'll get some tea here and there. But yeah. Okay, college football playoff predictions. I'm getting into this list. Everett, I want you to start. Okay, it is 9:21. I'm gonna be done at 9:36 at the most, probably before that. Okay. Number 1 seed, Alabama, 13-0. Not a hot take. I know. Alabama, their only hiccup this season is weeks 5 through 7. They got to play Arkansas on the road, who are preseason ranked, A&M at home, preseason 6, and then Tennessee on the road, who I think will be ranked when that game is played. They're not ranked preseason, but I think Tennessee will be ranked when that game is played. This is the thing, though. It's A&M at home, and Bama's about to whoop the shit out of them after losing to A&M last year, and especially after Jimbo was running his mouth about Nick Saban all summer. So Bama's about to whoop their ass. And Arkansas, zero concern. Tennessee's the one semi-concern I have, but they're going to beat Tennessee. So Alabama 13-0, okay? Ohio State, 2 seed, 13-0. Yeah, okay, actually, let me just get the clip out saying all of them. I'll let you actually start forming some opinions. 1 seed, Alabama, 13-0. 2 seed, Ohio State, 13-0. 3 seed, USC, 12-1. 4 seed, Michigan, 11-1. That is my college football playoff predictions.
So I was sitting here thinking.
Let me hear your initial reaction.
I was sitting here thinking about it for a while about what I would say, because obviously, like, I'm not a bona fide college football head. Like, I don't know as much as you do, so my opinions are very much invalidated.
I'm gonna justify my Michigan pick after. But
so here's the thing: I was looking at all these top teams. One, I kind of was thinking about for like.
Tell me some potential. So I'll tell you a couple other teams.
I'm thinking. I agree. I was
thinking of Clemson, Notre Dame, Georgia.
Yeah. So here's
and Utah.
I agree.
I Utah, but those are the other teams.
I agree with Bama and I agree with Ohio State. I think those are locks 1 and 2. I think that's the way that's going to happen.
I think, but though we all think it's locks, one of them will not be in the playoff. I can almost guarantee.
But it's pretty. Right? So now it comes down to USC and Michigan. So the 3-4. Okay.
Those who are I have not. I think actually a good amount of people.
I love USC so much, and that's why I know they're not going to be there. I just have this feeling.
No, I know. I mean, I go to USC, so a little bias.
USC,
and I also put Ohio State 2 seed every year behind Bama, so whatever.
USC, I have a sneaking suspicion it's going to be USC in the Rose Bowl this year.
Rose Bowl not making it. Like, so this is the thing also. Yeah. Okay. Actually, let me ask you. For USC to make the Rose Bowl, do you think that they will be the Pac-12 champions also and make the Rose Bowl? Like, how do you think they get to the Rose Bowl but not the playoff?
That's
what I want to ask you, because I have an answer to how I actually have an answer to how they could still get there. But
this is my thing. Okay?
To pass a
I don't know. It's between them and Utah. All right. You can make the argument for Oregon. I don't think that they're close. So it's between USC and Utah. I think that just because
that's what I think too.
Utah has had the edge. They have returning castmates. It's the same coach, same system, another year. I just think
the game's also in Utah.
I just think that they have
that's a very big factor.
They have an easier path to win the Pac-12. And I think
so. Okay,
think with that said, I don't think that USC needs to win the Pac-12 to go to the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I actually think that the Pac-12 champion will not be playing in the Rose Bowl this season.
I
believe they will not be playing in the Rose Bowl this season.
Between
I think they're still going to set it up to be a Pac-12 Big Ten Rose Bowl game because it's not. I'm pretty sure it's not a playoff. Keep going. Let me look up what
here's the thing. I just think that if USC plays well enough, obviously they'll make it. But the storyline and the money is
okay. Thank God. Fiesta Bowl and Peach Bowl. All right. Yeah. Rose Bowl's not a playoff.
The money for USC being in the Rose Bowl is just so much that if they don't make the playoffs, that's just where they're going to go. Like that's the bowl game they're going to. But I think that those two last seeds, that 3 and 4 seed.
Well, I'll be honest. When it comes to the BCS bowls, I think money is obviously involved when you're doing the matchups. But I think to actually get a BCS bowl, I don't think they give a fuck about money. That's when they change.
I still think the USC is going to be a good enough team to be there.
No. Like this is the thing. If let's say USC loses to Utah, I think they'd probably go 10-2, 9-3. In that case, probably won't be in the Rose Bowl.
If they have
10-2,
10-2,
but this is the thing. Okay, let me get into my USC. So I'll get into Ohio State after USC because we're on topic of USC. I got USC my 3 seed, and I think they're gonna go 12-1. Regular season this year. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
USC 3 seed. This I think what's gonna happen. So first things first, what I want to say, the winner of Utah and USC in week 7 in Salt Lake City at Utah, the winner of that game will represent the Pac-12 South in the Pac-12 championship game. Don't think that's a debate. Don't think that's a hot take. The winner of that game will represent the Pac-12 South, the Pac-12 championship game. But not only that, though, I believe the winner of the Week 7 Utah-USC game, the winner of that game will make the college football playoff because winning that game means you will be in the Pac-12 championship game, and it will most likely be against Oregon, I guess?
I'm going to say Oregon. Yeah.
Oregon, I guess.
I don't know who else is going to be in it.
Utah last year beat Oregon 38-3 and then 38-10 in the Pac-12 championship.
They got Bo Nix now, all right? It's a whole different Oregon team with Bo Nix.
True. And I think this is okay. Bo Nix is okay. Oregon actually had a pretty nice ass quarterback last year. So Bo Nix is obviously a downgrade, but they lose Mario Cristobal. They lose Kayvon Thibodeau. They have Noah Sewell back. Yes, I understand. And Justin Flo, I think, will actually play this year. They have pieces on defense. They lose Travis Dye. Their main running back, CJ Verdell, he was out for the year. I'm pretty sure he's gone. And then Travis Dye transfers to USC. Then they got their receivers, Micah Pittman. He leaves. Oregon's depleted, and their head coach dipped.
I think that,
but I still think they're a tough ass team. I think they are the threats in the Pac-12 North.
I think that regardless,
they own that.
Regardless,
their division.
Either USC or Utah, one of the two is getting into the playoffs.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. The winner of that game, in my opinion, will be in the playoff. And I think the Pac-12 is going to make it this year.
Because I think it will be USC, it's going to be Utah.
So let me explain why I think. This is why I'm picking USC over Utah to make the college football playoff. Okay,
bias.
A little bit, but I actually thought about this. So first things first, USC, they don't really have a test on their schedule until week 7 at Utah. So they start the season with Rice, then they play Cupcake Dixie State, then they play Fresno State, then they play USC doesn't have a game until Utah, and their Pac-12 games before are Wazoo, Cougars, Washington State, and some other like legit in Stanford, who they're actually gonna fucking shit on this year because they lost last year, so they're gonna beat them this year. That's how it works. But USC, they don't really have a test until Utah, but USC is a big test end of the season. They have Notre Dame at home though, but they still have to play Notre Dame.
By the way,
yeah,
I think Notre Dame's taking that last spot.
I'm gonna get into a reason why I think I see a path how Notre Dame could still get into it despite losing to Ohio State this Saturday. I still think they have a good chance of getting in. But this is the thing, okay? USC, they have 2 games on their schedule this year, okay? They have Utah and they have Notre Dame, okay? Utah's on the road, Notre Dame's at home. Who do you think would be a tougher game, Utah or Notre Dame? Just thinking whatever. You don't need to know anything about the players. Probably Notre Dame, right?
Did you say Notre Dame's away? It's at Notre Dame or it's at USC?
I'm not telling you that. You tell me just right now. What do you think's hard? Just neutral site. Utah, Notre Dame. What's harder in your mind?
Utah.
Shut the fuck up, Everett. Notre Dame. Okay, give me the.
It's just
Notre fucking Dame. Okay, this is the thing. Notre Dame's home though, and Utah's away. So obviously, by deal, if both of those were home, but that doesn't happen. I'd rather have the Utah away, Notre Dame home than Utah home, Notre Dame away.
Yeah. Notre Dame away would be pretty. Also, it's cold. It's snow, cold.
And you would play them last week in November.
Like,
my roommate's getting home right now. What up, Sammy? We recording a pod right now. Fuck it. Get in here. I want you to make your debut on the podcast.
Well,
get in here. You look really nice right now, so I need you to get in here. Holy shit.
Hopefully my outfit gets me a job, you know?
Yeah, dude, sit the fuck down. Look at.
Dude, Everett.
He's dripping. What
the fuck is going on?
Dude, Sammy is dripping the fuck up right now. I'll be honest. I've been home for 3.5 hours now. I was like, where the fuck have you been? But obviously you were off making money moves, unlike my poor bum ass, but that's okay. That's okay.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about college football, but I know you love college basketball. So Sam, I want you to tell me right now your preseason prediction. Who's winning the national championship of college basketball next year?
I think it's gonna be North Carolina.
Not Duke?
Oh, Duke was great.
See, bro. See, dude.
So we put a lot of money on Duke. A lot of money, and we lost a lot of money on Duke. And then we put a lot of money on North Carolina, and we lost so much money on North Carolina. And it was Love. That was the guy that just could not make a three that whole time
to save his fun. Okay, I'll be honest. Rick, like Sam, I unfortunately introduced him to the world of gambling. And literally, he is 80 times better than me at gambling. Actually, like this dude was, for our first like 3 weeks of like college basketball betting, he was up like $300, and I'm just down 500. He's just sitting there like, I'm feeling UConn today.
All right.
No, but I mean that's the thing. Like this college basketball is such an amazing sport. Okay. And I know it's like when it starts up, football will be going on. We're going hard this year. We're going 10x on NFL, my brother. But college basketball, that shit gets me going. I love college basketball.
Hey man, Peacocks and Brown Bears.
I love college basketball. Like
Peacocks or Brown Bears. The Fighting Peacocks or Brown Bears.
Dude, okay. A pack of 80 Fighting Peacocks or one brown bear, who's winning? Because if you ask St. Peter's, the fucking Fighting Peacocks are winning.
Yeah. Peacocks, those Peacocks were. I think that's what got me hooked into actually St. college Peter's. Basketball.
I'll be honest.
I love underdog stuff. Like March Madness, I love when underdogs win. Like
the one thing I told Sam when St. Peter's was in the round of 32, I forget who they were playing, but when they were in the round of 32, I tell Sam, St. Peter's money line, like plus 700, is a lot.
I threw
Every 15 seed ever that upsets the 2 seed, they go on to beat the 7 or 10 seed. Every fucking time. Every single time. Like St. Peter's money line arguably should have been favored in that game. Just based off how it goes. Doug Eddard, are you kidding me?
Boy.
How can you bet against him?
All right, I hate to.
That was the guy.
I hate to rain on the parade, but my computer is at 10%.
Okay. We gotta wrap up the pod, Sam. We gotta wrap up the pod. If you want to listen to my cultural,
Wait. Call Sam back in here to do the outro.
I appreciate it though.
Oh yeah, okay.
Everett, pleasure to see you.
See you soon, Sam. I'll see you soon.
Okay. Back to my thing though. Okay. So USC, they only have 2 games to play this year. This is Utah or USC. They only have two guys on their schedule. Okay, UCLA doesn't count. Shut the fuck up, UCLA fans. Utah, though. Let's look at their schedule. Week 1, they go on the road to Gainesville. They play Florida on the road in the swamp. Week 1. And I think Utah on paper is a much better team, but it's week 1, and you kind of need to throw everything out the fucking window. Like, you kind of do. And I know Florida is a new head coach. Like, Utah does technically have the advantages here, but it's a game in the swamp, Everett. It's a game in the swamp, and the swamp takes no prisoners lightly. So that game gets a little close attention, my opinion.
Agreed. Yeah.
I don't think it's an easy win for either team. I think that game can dictate a lot in the college football season this year.
If Utah loses that first game, I would say pretty much chalks up their chances getting into the playoffs.
Because this is the thing. Utah, if they lose that game and then run the table,
I don't think it matters.
I think there's a good chance they get in because I think Clemson will not be good this year.
Yeah.
Clemson loses their D coordinator and O coordinator. They both leave, and their D coordinator, Brent Venables, oh my God. Now he's gone, and their quarterback coach makes their quarterbacks worse. So DJ Uyunglele will have his worst season at Clemson next season, just based off the history. So you got to take that shit into account. But okay, Utah, Florida week 1, little tough. And then at the end of the season, they have to go on the road to Oregon. Week 11 or week 12, second to last week. And then they obviously have to play USC. So Utah has 3 hiccups to get through. Utah has 3 hiccups to get through. USC has 2, literally. And the thing, though, is just like Utah's got 2 road games, like Oregon on the road and Florida on the road week 1. And week 1 is so week 1, like, you don't know what the fuck your team is. Like, the difference between the team from week 1 to week 13, especially in college football, is absurd. So that's why I think USC has a better chance. And also, I think USC will be 12-1. Shit, USC, like, let's say there's even a scenario where USC can lose to Utah and Utah loses to Oregon also. USC is still the Pac-12 South, and USC still makes the playoff despite losing to Utah. Like, I think USC, if they lose to Notre Dame and they're 11-1, then win the Pac-12 championship, it'll be fine. Like, they'll be in.
It'd be a similar thing as to Michigan losing to Ohio State and still making it in.
No, yeah, but like if USC uses to Utah, there's a potential that Utah wins the Pac-12 South. But that's all I have for that. Okay. Ohio State 13-0. I don't even need to debate that. You guys know that. Okay. Michigan, though. Michigan 4 seed, my 4 seed, 11-1. I think one conference this year will have multiple teams, college football playoff. I don't think it'll be the SEC.
Always the Big Ten.
I think it'll be the Big Ten, and that's because I think Michigan has a easier road of making it than Georgia, and it comes down to the stupid ass fucking divisions in college football that should just be gone, but they're still there for some reason. Okay. because Georgia is not in Alabama's subdivision, because Alabama is the SEC West, Georgia's SEC East. If they win their subdivisions, they have to play each other in the SEC championship game. And last year it ended up being okay. Last year ended up being okay because Georgia was the 1 seed, Alabama was the lower seed, then Alabama beat Georgia, so Georgia was still in. But next year, I don't think Georgia will be 12-0 going into that SEC championship game. And Georgia's not playing Alabama this year in the regular season. But I do not think that Georgia will be 12-0 going into that game. They lose so much on defense, and there's no way Stetson Bennett is going to push them over the hump and make them an elite-ass team. So let me into why I think Michigan's got a good shot, okay? Michigan, I truly believe, will be 11-0 going into the game against Ohio State. And I think that will be the only loss on their schedule in the regular season. I think that puts them in a really good spot to still make it over teams like Notre Dame, Clemson, or Georgia. And this is the thing. Michigan, if they're 11-0, their only loss to Ohio State, they're 11-1, they end the year. I think they have a very, very good argument making the playoff over a team like Notre Dame, who Notre Dame has to play Ohio State, Clemson, and USC this year. So if you think they'll win 2 of those 3, they'll be 11-1.
I think they should be able to pick up 2 of the 3 games. Are you talking about Georgia?
Sophomore quarterback that we just went over last episode, of new head coach. You really think they will?
Really? I'm not going to lie. I tuned out.
Their starting receivers out for the year? You told me that news. You think they will? You think they'll go 2 for 3 out of those teams?
I'm not going to lie. I tuned out. I've been looking at my computer battery slowly drain itself to death. Are we talking about USC right now?
No. Notre Dame.
Oh, yeah. No.
Okay. Oh, whatever. Okay. The thing, Steven, that's why on college football, though. At the end of the day, I think there will be at least one brand new team to make the college football playoff, and it will be either USC or Utah. That's my college football playoff prediction.
With that, I know we have some extra stuff. We can save it for the next episode. My computer's at 4%. Go get Sam. Get him to come do the outro.
He's showering.
Bring the computer into the bathroom.
I'm not doing that.
Bring the mic in there.
It's locked.
Right. Oh. See, in my household, we have an open door policy. Not really, but all right.
Just said you locked the. Well, you didn't lock it before, so shit.
We didn't know the.
You do have a point. I'll be honest.
My house literally has one key to lock every door because we don't have the manual locks. It's a literal key, and the only key is in my door.
Wait, so to lock your room door, you need a key that.
I need a literal key, and it's the same for every door in this house, including
I think that might just be like a New Orleans thing.
I don't know. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching, listening. I hope you guys have an amazing Labor Day, because we will not have an episode out until after Labor Day at this point. Enjoy the first week of I'm tired as balls, man.
The Labor Day shout out. Is it Labor Day next Monday?
Yeah, it's Labor Day next Monday. That's when we'll be doing our draft, by the way. Grant and I will be coming out with our drafts for fantasy football. Look for those on TikTok.
12-man PPR league. Woo! Excited.
Yeah. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, listening. Subscribe, like, favorite. Go follow our TikTok. Follow our Twitter at WaterboyPod, at WaterboyPod, at WaterboyPod. And we will catch you all in the next episode.
I'll see ya.